Hello, it's Mrs. Eastman again from Northwood. I always like to introduce myself in case you're watching this video before one of the other videos. I'm a reading specialist and I'm also ending the year in Mr. Hutchison's second grade class. This is my third video that I'm making, and this one's probably going to be the most complicated. You can see there's a lot on my board and there's a lot I'm going to cover. The good thing is that you can watch it as many times as you want. So if it's too overwhelming all at once, you can just watch part of it, or you can watch all of it and go back and just watch the parts you need to go over. So I'm going to put it all together for you. Some of this is what you have already learned in second grade, and some of this is what you're going to be learning in second grade before the end of the year. Alright, so this poster today says spelling options. And you can see it's pretty full compared to my other posters. Now, in English, and that's what we speak, and that's what we write, that's our language, our national language. There are others, who speak other languages in our country. That's awesome. But our national language is English. It is kind of a difficult language to learn because it's what we call a deep language or an opaque language. There's a lot to it. Where other languages are more transparent and they have more one-to-one correspondence between, oh, I hear this sound, I'm going to use this letter, and there's only one choice or maybe two choices. English isn't like that. If we hear a sound, we have a lot of choices with how to spell that sound. We have a lot of options. And so we have a lot of learning to do. And you'll become a better speller as you practice and as you learn in school and as you grow older. All right, so I want to talk about this vocabulary. I did this the other day when we talked about the macron and the breve. Today I'm going to talk about grapheme and phoneme. And they're just fancy words for saying a letter or letters that make a sound, a phoneme. So when you're practicing Heggerty and you're going k, a, t, those are phonemes. They're individual sounds. The graphemes are C, A, T. And maybe your teachers have used that language and maybe they haven't, but now you know what that means. All right, I'm going to work with our poster now. And I'm going to start with this. Now, you're not crazy that E is upside down, and that is called the schwa sound. When you see an upside down E, it just means the vowel is a little bit muffled. You can't really hear it very well. And we know that's true with our bossy R, because bossy R kind of controls that vowel. So the first thing we have up here is the ER, and ER, IR, UR all say We talked about that on our bossy R poster. Now something I did not talk about in that video, and I wanted to get back to real quick because it is in your reading program, is the OR. So we're going to jump down here real quick. OR, horn, OR. So we know OR says OR, and we practiced it on our poster, our bossy R poster. But there are other ways of spelling OR. They all sound the same. See, here we go again with English being difficult. So I just wanted to review this. We have OR, like in or horn. We have OR spelled O-A-R, like in or. A or is like a paddle. Or bore, I think that's a wild pig of some sort. We have O-R-E, or, and that's the word too. O-R-E, or is something you find in the earth that you can make metal out of. Here's the word more. And then finally we have O-O-R, that also says or. And examples of that would be door and floor. So I didn't get to this in my bossy R video, but I wanted to come back to it. Because again, it goes to the fact that we have 4 ways of spelling OR. All right, now we're going to go into our long vowel sounds. You will notice, I hope you can see them, but this says A. It has a macron above it, which means it's the long A. It's saying A. And I'm going to quickly go through this. You can spell A by A consonant E, so that would be silent E, by just an A. And we know A can stand alone as a word, or it can be in an open syllable like Ava. AI, well, that's our vowel team, or our vowel digraph. It says A. AY can say A, but I've added a few other ones up here just to make my point about all the different spelling options we have. So we have EA, which can say A. We actually hear the second vowel and the first vowel is silent. And here's an example of it right over here in the word great. We hear the A, the second vowel, and the first vowel is silent. EY is another way of saying A, and here's an example over here, EY. And I think you've all heard there is no A in they. Because a lot of times when children start spelling, they might spell it T-H-A-Y because they think A, Y says A, which it does. But in they, it's EY saying A. And then our final one right here, I call this the four-letter way to spell A. It is E-I-G-H. See, that's a grapheme. It's a unit of letters, E-I-G-H, but it makes one sound, a phoneme. And so here's an example right here, E-I-G-H-T, that's the number 8. Now, if I were going to go ahead and do this, chop it, it would be A-T, 8. We only have 2 phonemes in that word, even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. So, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have at least 7 different ways of spelling long A. All right, let's go on to long E. We have E consonant E, which is our silent E. We have just plain E in our open syllable, like he, we, she. E is saying E. We have Y. Now, Y at the end of a 2 or more syllable word will say E. Say baby. Say happy. Say family. You hear that E at the end? That is the Y saying E. We have our vowel team EE. It says E. We have our vowel team EA. It can say E. It can say A. It can say E. Crazy. And we have EY that can say E, like in the picture clue key, or monkey, or donkey. This is something I teach my second graders, so I'm going to share it with you. I had a teacher share it with me, and I think it's awesome. When you see EA, again, this can make different sounds. So I always try to remember this sentence. And the sentence is, eat bread and steak. Now, when we look at that, I've already circled the EA in all 3 words. We have the EA in eat, eat. We're hearing long E. I put an E with a macron above it because that means long E. In bread, oh, it's not saying E anymore. It's saying E, the short vowel sound. So I put an E underneath it with the little breve above it, that little smile. That means it's a short sound, E, bread. And steak. Who doesn't like steak? So with steak, there's that tricky one again, where we don't hear the first vowel, E, we hear the second vowel, A, and A says its name. So here we go, long A. So if you remember the sentence, eat bread and steak, you will know the 3 ways the three sounds that E, A can make. It can say E, it can say E, and it can say A. Once again, this is why English is a little difficult, but you can do it. All right, we're going to go back over here to the I. Long I says I. We can spell it with I consonant, silent E. We can spell it with an I in an open syllable like hi or isolate. We have a Y. Y can be spelled, or Y can say I too. Now that would be more at the end of a one-syllable word, and it's the only vowel. So say cry, say shy, say my, try. You hear that I at the end? That's the Y. And I'm going to stop here and go over here to my crybaby rule. Now, I'm not being mean, and I wouldn't call anybody a name, but babies do cry, and it helps us remember what the Y says. So, with cry, you will see there's a Y at the end, and it's the only vowel in the word, and it gets to say I, cry. You'll see in baby, the Y at the end, but it's a two-syllable word, baby. You know, when we do syllables, we can put our hand under our chin. Baby. Two syllables. So here we go, bay, B. There's the long A in bay. But here in B, the Y is saying E. So that Y is pretty tricky too. Oh my goodness. That Y can also make a consonant sound if it's at the beginning of a word, like yellow or yawn. Has a lot of different sounds. Going on. Let's talk about the IGH too. I didn't finish that row. I consonant E, I, Y, and IGH. Again, this is a grapheme. It's three letters together that make one sound, a phoneme. And these three letters together say I. So we have those in a lot of words, like night, or light, or sigh. All right, let's go on to O. Long O can be spelled O consonant E, just plain old O, in an open syllable like no or go. OA is a vowel team, that says O. OE is a vowel team, that says O. OW is a vowel team, and that can say O, like in snow. But it's tricky, it can make another sound we'll get to, and we already practiced that on our vowel team chart. Going on, oh, long U. Now, I'm not a linguist or a speech pathologist, and this probably is a little more complicated than I'm going to tell you, but this is what I would tell my students, all right? Long U, and if you look over here, it can say U, like Y-O-U, U. I want you to say the word cube. When you tap that out, you hear k-u-b, k-u-b, cube. So, it's saying U. But another sound of U, and yes, I have a different mark over it, and we're not going to get into that. Those marks just help us with pronunciation, and so this mark is telling us that the U can also say oo. So it can say U, it can say oo. And I want you to say the word tube. And if we tap that out, we hear t-oob, t-oob. But look, they're spelled exactly the same way, with a U and a consonant and a silent E. So please know that U, long U, can say U or it can say oo. For instance, see how silly this would sound? Cube, like I would like an ice cube in my drink. What if I said cube, cube? I wouldn't call it an ice cube, I call it an ice cube. The same thing here in this word tube. Let's say I need a tube of toothpaste. We wouldn't say tube. That sounds silly. We just say oo, tube. So there is a little difference there. Let's go ahead and practice. Long U can be spelled U consonant silent E, just with a U, like in the word music. Music is at the end of that first syllable, mu, and UE. All right, now this row is saying oo, and we already practiced this on our vowel team chart. So we do have U consonant silent E, just plain U, and then our vowel teams or our vowel digraphs, UE, OU, OO, and EW. All right, going on. I want to make sure I've talked about everything here that I need to. These are our diphthongs. Remember, when we work with a vowel team chart, our diphthongs kind of glide from one sound to the next. And so OI can be spelled OI or OY, and both of them say oi. And then OU can be spelled, and that's the owl sound. Owl can be spelled OW or OU. Those are two different ways to spell owl. And I have one more little chart over here to show you. Here's OU. Our picture clue for that was OU trout owl. So we can have OU in the middle of a word. That's called the medial position. And then OU out, okay, here we have out. We have OU saying owl at the initial position, in the initial position. Initial means the beginning. But look at the OW. It can say owl too. And this was our picture clue. OW, plow, owl. And the owl is at the end. And then I also wrote clown. Now the OW can come in the middle or the medial position and at the end or the final position. So if you hear owl at the end, you would never put an OU, you would put an OW. All right, going on to the oi. Here again, I have OI, coin, oi. That was our picture clue. And OI is saying oi in the medial position, in the middle. But here, OI is saying oi, like in oil, in the beginning, in the initial position. So OI you can find at the beginning or you can find in the middle, but you wouldn't find it at the end. If you hear oi at the end, then you would pick the OY. OY says oi, like in boy, that's our picture clue, and enjoy. I put a two-syllable word there for us. And you will notice both times here it's at the end. Now again, with English, there's not, I say this, it isn't always true. There's usually rule breakers. There is something when we work on the syllable chart, and that's another poster I'm going to work on, where like English, you can never end a word in a V. So you always have to stick an E at the end. I think that's true all of the time. But most of these rules is most of the time. All right? Going down here to the bottom, we have this sound. And this is kind of the short O sound. At least that's what I say it is, because I think AU and AW both make an ah sound. And to me, it sounds very close to a short O. And do you remember AU, August, ah, and AW, saw, ah? So, my point with today's lesson is that there are many spelling options in English. When we hear a sound, sometimes we have a lot of spelling options to choose from. So with practice and hard work, we're going to become better spellers. And I hope this lesson helps you. And if it was too much at once, just go back and watch it a little at a time until you understand each part. Thank you so much. I appreciate your hard work. I miss you. I hope you're staying happy and healthy. Thank you.